Okay, so today we have some more news about what's going on with the whole Darius Jackson and Keke Palmer situation. This audio leaked of this phone call where Keke Palmer's mom, Sharon Palmer, just completely went off, just completely dragged the hell out of Darius Jackson. And I mean, rightfully so, but some of the things that she said made my jaw drop completely. We just have to get into the whole thing. Let's talk about it. So by now, I'm sure many of you have heard this audio of Keke Palmer's mom just going off on Darius Jackson. If you haven't, go check it out. It's 7 minutes long. I'm not going to play the shit in here. Like, it's 7 minutes long. Right, we're just going to talk about it. So go listen to it, and just, if you want to get into the tea, if you want to get into the mess, girl, we here, why not? So go listen to it, then come back. Now, I'm going to talk about two things before we get into the audio, get into what Sharon Palmer was saying to Darius. So first, I see that there's a lot of victim blaming going on already. Y'all already know when I first covered this Keke Palmer stuff, I was like, I can already see how they're going to be niggas coming out the woodwork who don't know who Darius is, don't give a fuck about Darius, as all of a sudden gonna become his biggest number 1 fans, as long as it means that they try to, or they get to defend his actions, right? That's the same thing we saw happen to Tory Lanez and shit. Like, y'all didn't know 2-3 Tory Lanez songs, but all of a sudden y'all wanted to come defend his violent ass, right? So yeah, I see a lot of victim blaming. Darius, with the help of the person who broke this news, I'm not even gonna say the name because it's just, to me, they tried to spin this narrative and show us the little scratches and shit that he got and tried to spin it like, oh, well, see, actually, he got hit too. Oh, well, they tried to play like the alleged abuser was actually some kind of victim in some sort. And I just want to highlight that if you're allegedly assaulting someone and they fight back or they defend themselves, then the scratches that you get as a result of that don't count, girl, if you're the aggressor, babes. Y'all keep y'all keep telling women to defend themselves. Y'all keep, every time on social media, every time I see something happen like that, y'all keep telling women to arm themselves. Ladies, y'all gotta get a gun. I see it all the time, y'all say it, So if y'all can't even handle an alleged abuser getting scratches, how are y'all going to respond when y'all homeboys start dying or showing up to your house with bullet holes? Y'all keep telling these women, oh, you gotta defend yourself, you gotta get a gun. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. And I want to see how y'all gonna respond. That's the first thing. So the second thing is that Keke's mom told Darius, threatened him that she was gonna put some hot lead in his skull. Okay. Now, when this was reported, I don't know if the news media expected us to be shocked and disapprove what Keke Palmer's mom said, but that's a mother who's talking to her child's alleged abuser. I'm saying alleged, girl, because it ain't no Tasha K around here. If you don't put your hands on people, you wouldn't have this problem, right? But either way, Darius's mom apparently learned that Sharon, Keke's mom, threatened Darius, and Darius's mom told her that she'd filed a police report on her. But Keke's mom responded to her with this: "Your son choked his own sister. Deal with his anger issues. If he attacks my daughter in her own, where she pays the bills, he is trespassing and anything can happen, so he should stay away. You should be very ashamed to have raised a man who fights women." Okay, so let's talk about Keke's mom in this phone call, right? She said all kinds of shit, like I said earlier, that just made my jaw completely just nosedive to the floor. So from the audio, it sounded like Keke Palmer had her mom on the phone on speaker while Darius was in the room with Keke, right? So Sharon Palmer asks Darius, she says, "Can you speak English? That's part of the reason why you can't get an acting job. Your articulation is poor." And at first I laughed hard because I was like, Darius, she's really dragging your ass. But the fact that Keke's mom, Sharon, referred to Darius's mom as an immigrant later on in this phone call and used the word as an insult really made me take my laugh back with this one. That aside, she was just saying, you ain't working, you ain't getting no jobs. That's what's going on. And I was just like, girl, this is how the audio starts off. I'm in for a crazy ride. And that's exactly what happened. Okay. So at one moment, Keke clarifies to her mom that Darius has implied that she messed Keke up by having her be a child star. The word sacrifice was used. He said, oh, sacrificing her. And Sharon came back with, and I'm paraphrasing here, She was like, yeah, I guess we sacrificed her, but essentially we got coin now. So I'm just like, there's so much toxicity here that I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. But Keke's mom went on to say, your mama, to Darius, she said, your mama messed you up, effed you up, turned you into a punk ass mama's boy who harasses women. And then this part right here, she said, Usher is gay. That's what Sharon Palmer said. Usher is gay. And it was quick. And at first I rolled my eyes because I'm like, maybe she's just being unserious. But we're going to come back to this part because, moving on, Keke at this moment was trying to say to Darius, why say horrible things to me? Like, it's one thing you trying to come over here talking about your son this, your son that. Well, why say horrible things to me? Darius says to Keke's mom, Keke's the one who wants to come back around. Trust me, I didn't want this. And Keke says, you do all of that unnecessarily, all of his craziness unnecessarily because there is something wrong with your brain. You're nuts. You sound like you have a broken brain. You have an episode and then you harass me for an hour straight. It's not normal or necessary. Okay, and then because the whole so Sharon's in the back while this happened. She said, Usher is bisexual. He sleep with men, you stupid motherfucker. And then what's interesting is that Keke does not deny this. Actually, she does kind of the opposite. She says that Darius should know this fact that Usher is queer because of some reason that was kind of inaudible at the moment that she was saying it. But from my understanding, from what I kind of heard, was she was saying like Darius should know that Usher is queer because Darius hangs out with this specific person or something. I don't know. Either way, Keke didn't deny it, and she was just like, girl, essentially saying, you know this too, without saying that. But I do, this part was crazy because it's so interesting how so many people that think that just because, a guy may sleep with men that he couldn't want women either. Cause I think that's the point that Sharon is trying to make. Like, we don't know if cause she keeps switching between bisexual and gay. So I'm just like, is he gay? Is you saying he gay? You saying he's bisexual? Like, what are you saying? But either way, we don't know that. We don't know Usher's tea for real. The only hard insight we got was that lawsuit from 2017 involving 2 women and 1 man. With him, but that's really all the like hard tea that we have. Of course, I'm sure there are rumors, but Sharon is trying to imply that since Usher likes guys, Darius was flipping out for no reason. And Sharon continues, and she told Darius, and I'm paraphrasing, like I said, she said, and then you let your brother talk you into that shit. Your brother's a pussy too. She said, don't blame Keke for being a joke. You were a joke before you met her. What kind of man calls the mother of his child cunt, bitches, whores, but then turns around and says, I'm gonna come get the baby? What kind of woman wants their daughter to go be with a man that calls them cunts and bitches? She says this. If my daughter ever gives you the baby after you call her a cunt, I'm gonna beat her ass. I said, I was just like, what am I listening to right now? This shit is in different areas. Do you see what I'm saying? And then Darius says this shit, and his voice is so fucking annoying, no shade. But Darius says, the baby is gonna be in my arms regardless. He's gonna grow up to be a man, a real man, and come on over. I don't care about what you think. I don't care about what you think, especially you, Keke. And then Keke is like, exactly. Like, of course, that's why we're here, okay? Like, you don't give a shit about me. You don't give a shit about what I think. So at this point, it's like the audio switches, right? And Sharon at this point is still going off on Darius, but then he says, none of what y'all do phases me anymore. And the mama came back, Keke Palmer mama came back with all kinds of shit. She called him a dickless motherfucker. I don't know what Keke saw in your limp dick ass. I was just like, you really trying to go for, like, what? And that's why I don't know, like, I don't know how it feels sitting down here, my mama and my fucking nigga going all this rah-rah on the phone. I don't know about all that. I'm not sitting back here while all this, you and my mama like rah-rahing on the phone. It's not gonna happen. It would never happen. It would never happen. Like, if we doing all that, we just need to go ahead, knock this nigga out, take the baby, and go and be somewhere where we don't even have to interact with this nigga. We don't have to see this nigga ever again. You know what I mean? And I know, the process is, I'm sure, difficult, much more complex than I'm making it out to be. But I'm just like, girl, for all this rah-rah, we could just cut this shit right now. Like, you see what I'm saying? I'm not doing all this shit with mama on the phone. Nah. Then Darius came back with this, and I'm sure all the nignogs loved this line. He said, well, that's what you raised. Obviously referring to Keke Palmer, that's what you raised. because she had said, like I said earlier, her mom had said earlier, I don't know what Keke saw in your limp dick ass. And Darius said, well, that's who you raised on up. And she came back with, well, that's what your mama raised, a dick sucker. You probably suck dicks too. And then I paused the call because I'm just like, wait a minute, now why am I in it? Why are dick suckers in it? Wait, why am I in it? Why am I in it? Then Keke Mama goes even further, following Santana's vibe, and said, I'm gonna get someone to fuck you one day. Keep fucking with me, you might get a dick in your ass. And let's just pause here, because yes, we getting on Darius, we already know, but I just like to say that I want our community, and I know that every community has homophobia or whatever, but I'm talking about mine right now. I want y'all free of the homophobic jokes and the homophobic rape jokes and all that. Because if you drew a Venn diagram of homophobia and the misogyny that you're fighting right now with your daughter, you'd be drawing a circle. I think we're traveling down dangerous roads when you're trying to measure or cut down a man based on what he can or can't do with his dick, or trying to insult his ego with threats of homophobic sexual violence, because I think it comes from the same realm that socializes these boys and men to be the sexist, violent, homophobic assaulters and sexual assaulters that they are. Does that make sense? It's just like, I get what y'all, I get what y'all think y'all trying to do. Oh, this motherfucker faggot, yo limp dick ass, yo dick sucking ass, Like, I just feel like that comes from the same realm, it comes from the same dimension, the same universe as the literal violent misogyny and sexism that you're fighting right now with your daughter. Does that make sense? But anyway, Sharon continued. She said, I tried to be nice. I thought you had mental problems because I thought you had mental problems. But you gonna talk about my daughter? You gonna harass my daughter? Usher is gay. Y'all don't understand the business. You don't understand the business. Usher is gay. I think she's implying like, hey, the show business is show business. The music industry is the music industry. People be gay, and they be hiding. We know how that goes. Now, because she keeps saying this, and because Keke did not deny it, people took this and they were like, well, maybe Usher really is queer. And of course that is a possibility. And I don't know why people keep acting shocked, especially the homophobic people. I'm just like, y'all be homophobic, y'all be forcing people in these closets, y'all demand that queers do not exist in front of you. You don't want to see none of that gay shit. But and then when people hide it, and then it comes out, y'all act shocked. Why act shocked? Y'all were the ones who fostered this kind of environment. So I don't understand. If Usher is queer, it doesn't really matter, because I just wish that people would see that the most important issue here is the fact that people feel uncomfortable living as their true selves. Like, I wish we were more concerned with dealing with homophobia in the Black community, transphobia in the Black community, as opposed to trying to figure out who gay and who not, and oh, this person gay, oh, I can't believe that they would hide it. Yeah, okay, well, think about why the fuck they would. All right, because of people who sound exactly like your silly ass sounding right now, babes. So in the call, she keeps going, right? Because Darius said, where my son at? He need to be with his family. And she was like, you don't have a family? Obviously referring to Keke and her, like, we ain't family. She said, go back to your dick sucking brother and your immigrant mama, bitch ass mama. That's what she said. And I'm just like, oh, but that's definitely not. Like, we can, I don't understand why y'all go for the low-hanging fruit race. Like, there's so many ways to drag this crusty ass nigga as opposed to calling his mama. Like, I don't know, y'all. Like, I'm just like, I get it, but it might be defeating the purpose. Like, she mad, I understand it, but I'm just like, damn, I wish this shit wasn't so fucking problematic so I could really laugh at it. Because I'm like, damn, girl. Then she said this, which I think was definitely true. She said, your father harassed your mama, and that's why you think you can go around harassing women. But he kept repeating, I'm here for my son, I'm here for my son. And also he said, tell Keke, tell her to put some clothes on. Tell her to put some clothes on. She's a mom. She has to put some clothes on. And I'm just like, you niggas are so crazy, because you get with these bad bitches with public facing careers, right? Like, just celebrities and shit, who you know how they act, you know how they dress. But then you want to, when y'all in a relationship now, you demand that she act differently, that she change her whole entire persona just because you nutted in her or some shit, just because y'all together. You could have gone out and found someone who likes to dress super duper conservatively and don't show shit and don't do shit and don't go to Usher concerts to have fun, etc., etc. someone who doesn't have a giant public career. There are people like that out there, but you don't want them. Niggas like you do not want them. Y'all want a girl who you could quote unquote tame and who you could quote unquote humble. Because I'm like, it's plenty women, because that's the whole point of being able to do what you want. That's the whole point of having freedom and autonomy, is you can dress how you want. There are many women who love to dress conservatively and love to, they don't like to show so much body or whatever. And you could go find their ass, but instead you want to take away someone else's fucking like autonomy and self just because your ass mad. Girl, sit your ass down somewhere. Keep repeating, oh, I'm here for my son, I'm here for my son. But if you were truly here for your son only, because that's what he's implying. I'm not here for Keke or do anything. Keke, I'm here for my son. But if you're here for your son only, you would not be harassing her ass. You would be only involved with business that when it comes to your son, and you wouldn't be fucking harassing her ass. Now, I want to leave with this. Do you know how hard it is for someone to get a restraining order granted from these courts and also sole custody of her child? That's what she got. That's what Keke got. She got the restraining order granted before any trial or no trial or anything like that happened. She got the restraining order granted and sole custody of her child granted. Do you know how bad the evidence must have been that she showed the fucking courts for that to happen? Because from my understanding, that kind of shit don't really happen easy like this. Like where you just get that shit granted. So he gonna have to find somewhere to sit the fuck down. That's really, if you didn't hear anything else in this video, he gonna have to find some place to sit the fuck down, and all these victim blaming ass people gonna have to find some place to sit the fuck down as well. And that's just it. That's just it. Keke Mama is absolutely problematic. I don't even know where to begin with this. I was just like, what? When she said, I bet you suck dicks too, you dickless. I'm just like, damn, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with a little dick nut. I'm like, why am I in it? But I mean, you can hear the fact that she is just like, hey, this is my child and she's currently being abused. You can hear that fucking pain and that anger in her voice. And some people are expecting us or expecting me to be like, oh my God, I can't believe she said to Darius that she would get his ass completely out of here if she tried her daughter again. I'm just like, yeah, well, don't try people's daughters. Don't keep your hands to your fucking self. Stop abusing people. Black men, stop abusing black women. How many times do I gotta fucking say it? And then we wouldn't have this problem. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank y'all so much for watching. And make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.
All the real niggas, they walk with a switch. Shaking ass with a broken wrist. I'm pussy and Bitch, just like this. All the real niggas